Working on a Craftsman mower that has its brake stuck on. This applies to mowers from the 90s up until the mid 2000s. These are tools we're using: a ratchet set, 2 pliers, and a floor jack. You don't have to use a floor jack like these. You can use a car jack too, but I'm gonna use a floor jack. So all we do, we grab onto the back part of the mower like that. And then we are going to raise it up from here. And here we don't need to lift it up that much. We just have to lift it up until we can get the wheel off the floor, like so. And then we're gonna take off this cover. We're working on the right side of the mower here. Okay, ideally you want to do this on a hot day where the rubber's softer, but I have a pair of pliers here. I can just take off this dust cover. You know, hold the tractor with one wheel while doing this so it doesn't fall off the jack. But it doesn't take that much force. Now, this dust cover off, like so. Now I think you can see this. We're gonna take off this clip first. After we take off that clip, the whole wheel can come off. So let's take off that clip. All right, I'm just gonna add something here to the list of things you might need. Screwdriver, flathead screwdriver. Just pry up on this tab right here. Each side, little by little. And eventually, this will come off. And then once we get this little space here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it right there carefully, and then pry up like that. And then we have this little clip out. You can pull this off. And now what's left here is the wheel. We should be able to pull this off. Be jammed on though. Okay, so I finally got the wheel off. And beneath the wheel, you can see, once you finally get the wheel off, if we get closer here, hold on a second. Okay, so I finally got the wheel off. Now beneath the wheel is this little brake rotor and the pads underneath here. It's just held on by this bolt, and then that bolt, you know, that bolt right there. On mine, the bolt is broken, so this will be tutorial on both fixing the brakes and removing a broken bolt. So let me show you how to get it off if you have a normal one. So all you do is you get your half-inch drive right there. And then I'm just gonna put the half-inch on there. And then after you unbolt it just like that. Okay. After you unbolt that, take out that nut and put it somewhere safe. And then take out this next nut. This nut I don't think is a half-inch. That'd be a bit smaller. 7/16 maybe. No. Somewhere. 3/8. Yes, 3/8. So remove the next one. And then once you remove this bolt, we remove this, and this arm should be able to come off. Don't lose this washer. Keep that somewhere safe. And then now we can have, oh, this spring too, don't lose that. Keep that also somewhere safe. And y'all can see here, these behind these two pins is our pad. This is our bolt, and this is the other bolt you want to take off. On mine, it has been broken. So now I'm going to show you how to take off that bolt. Okay, now I've got this drilled out. I got it mostly drilled out. And then now this slides right off. And now here we can see the little pins. These pins push in and then push on the brake pad, which fell out. This brake pad, this is the brake pad, and these are the pins. And these hold in just like that. And when you press on the brakes, you push in these pins and it pushes in these pads. Now, the problem with this here, let me adjust the camera for you. The problem here is that the pins are stuck. They won't move. So the best way to get these out is with a little hammer. And I'm using a little pipe wrench here, but you can see how stuck mine really are. See, now they're starting to come out, but I need to get them out all the way. So I'm gonna use something like a hammer. I would use a punch, but I have a hammer and a screwdriver. And look at that. That pin is free, and you can see the rust seized this pin to this. So I'm gonna get the other one out. There we go. Now we can clean up these pins, and we can clean up this hole right here. Okay, so we're back, and I have this old 80 grit sandpaper. Doesn't matter what you have, really. All I'm gonna do is shine up the metal here. Shine up the metal, like so. It shouldn't take you that long. Work on each side one by one. You can see it's getting a lot shinier already. Just remove the top layer of rust there. And this, I just have this one spot left. So let me just keep going. And now we can see the before and after, sanding and before sanding and after sanding. It's a lot shinier. And now, after sanding, it goes in smoothly. It smooths. And before, was not even budging. So let's sand up this one too. Now we can see how shiny it is. Oh wow. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we have our little bracket. Uh-oh, my brake pad fell out. Okay, what we're gonna do here is we added our spring back to this bolt right here. The spring of this size. And then we have our bolt and we have our bracket. And we'll need our nut. And then we'll need our flat washer. So what we're gonna do is add this back here. And add our flat washer back in. And then add this bracket back on. And then we're gonna get our 3/8 ratchet socket, and then we're gonna first hand thread this side, and then add this bolt, this nut I mean. And then the nut is actually a different size. This nut would be 1/2 inch. Require a 1/2 inch socket. And then just tighten that nut. And then we're gonna tighten up the other one now. And we're just going back and forth and tightening here. Carefully tighten it. You don't want to break the bolts off. About that's good. And then we're gonna have this 1/2 inch bolt tightened up too. Nut tightened up. There you go. After that, off camera, I sanded down that axle right there. And after sanding down the axle, I put some copper anti-seize on it. And then I put this key stock in with some, you guessed it, anti-seize. And then now all we gotta do is put the wheel back on. Now remember, let's see if I can get zoomed out there. There you go. The side with the longer stick goes towards that way, towards the tractor, and the side with the air nozzle goes towards you. Just put this in. Try to line up the keyway on both the axle and the wheel. Right there, you can see that the keyway is aligned. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cover this in a layer of anti-seize. Anti-seize is also lubricant, so it'll also help us push it in. And then once the keyway is aligned, we just simply push it in. I'm gonna use the wooden side because I don't want to mushroom out the end. So I'm just gonna use the wooden side and just gonna bash it in. It shouldn't take that much force. It really doesn't. Using some percussive force. And then back to the trusty screwdriver to get in the last bit. There you go. And once you've got the key stock in, you should be able to see the wheel and axle moves as one. And once that happens, all you gotta do is put back on your washer, and you get your C-clip. Put it back on also. C-clip is this clip. I call it C-clip. I don't know what it's called. But I just put it back in. I like. Oh, sorry. Putting it like this, and then just it fits right over the groove on the axle, and then you can just push it in. And there you go. And yeah, I'm not sure if you heard the saying that once you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. That's very true, because now I'm hammering in an C-clip, which you're not supposed to do. But I'm lazy, and I'll finally get out the pliers. You're supposed to put this in with a pair of pliers, I think. That's the easiest way, at least, to do it. I found. And you just push it in. And then, like so. Now glue's not coming off because there's a clip in the way preventing it from coming off. And then let's push in the clip even further. Yep, that is not going anywhere. So we are now rest assured. And then the very last step, I can put back our dust cap. This prevents dust from getting in here and grinding away at the hubs. And this is kind of a challenge to get back on. You can leave as is too. So my process to get it on, starting off on one side and then moving it up with your fingers. And then okay, I give up on the dust cap, but you can test out the brakes and see that they do work. The best way to test out the brakes to see if you've done this right is to leave it on the jack stand, have both in the air, make sure your clutch is off and you're in neutral, and try spinning both wheels. And if both wheels can spin freely at the same time, that means you've done this right. And you can press on the brake and then brake up. Now you can see that both wheels will not go at once no more. And that's how you know you've done this right. You load a tractor and you can freely push it out the way. There you go. That's how you fix one of these tractors.